Test 1 2. What is up, everyone? I hope this is working. I'm trying to capture with a webcam on my video editing software. This is the first time I've actually done this. It's a bit distracting because my face is really big right here on my computer screen, but I will do the best to get this review done without getting distracted by my incredibly amazing good looks. Anyway, it is time for a review of 2 Chainz' latest mixtape, Trapavelli Tray. And 2 Chainz, I think if we're all hip-hop fans, we're somewhat familiar with 2 Chainz, formerly a part of Playas Circle under the different pseudonym. And 2 Chainz, when I started getting into modern hip-hop and rap, around 2012, when I kind of started trying out my hand in the rap thing, 2 Chainz was not something that I was crazy about, only because I thought he was taking himself seriously. But within the past year, kind of learning that, okay, he's a lot smarter than he leads on to be, and the 2 Chainz thing is just a character. It's not exactly who he is as a whole, and he's just fun and light, kind of like a riff-raff kind of character. I've learned to enjoy some more stuff from his back catalog. Different features he's had on Drake songs, also some old songs from his very first mainstream debut. But this is his latest project. It's just been a while since I've heard his name, but again, I don't follow him like I follow other artists that are my favorites, so maybe he has done stuff and I've just missed it. But Trapavelli Tray dropped, and I saw the Neighborhood music video, and I was like, okay, that's a decent banger. So let's see what this mixtape has to offer. And what I have to say is, the whole thing with 2 Chainz is, what I've liked is he's never really taken himself too seriously. He's always been very, over the top, kind of goofy. And I feel on this project, he's kind of tried to be more serious. He's known for these really funny, retarded lines, like the classics. She got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty, or I got her saved in my phone under Big Booty. If it's money over everything, I put it in the attic. And the whole hot potato line from Yuck on the first album. So there's always been that comedic element, but even though he tries here and there on this mixtape, it just wasn't there as strongly. It's like he was trying to be funny, but also trying to be serious, which is not what 2 Chainz is good at. He's not good at being serious. It just fell short as far as a comic relief goes. It wasn't funny. It was just kind of like a really low grade, like Lil Wayne metaphor line that didn't come through. About all the other things he talks about. Although I will say the line that I liked is, "I eat my salad on a Versace plate." So that was like the one that kind of stuck out to me. And there is a moment of introspection on the song that is called Halo, A Letter to My Unborn Son, which I assumed was about a miscarriage, but then going and kind of researching, I learned that 2 Chainz has a son who's due in a couple months. 2 Chainz really reflecting and pondering on what fatherhood's going to be like with another child on the way, and that was something that I really enjoyed. And the beats, not a lot of these, not really producers that I know too well. I mean, you have Zaytoven on here, you have TM88 on here, but aside from that, it's just like very middle of the road, trap production. And I feel like 2 Chainz is just really pulling from other people that are in the ATL circle right now. He is one of, I believe one of the instrumental figures in making that ATL club sound what it is right now. As far with Future and Migos and people in that vein, I think he's part of helping cultivate that sound. But it seems like he's drawing too much from those other current artists that came in just a little bit after him. On the beat that's produced by Zaytoven, not only is the beat Migos beat, since it's a Zaytoven production, but even kind of the the theme and some of the flow is very Migos-ish. And 2 Chainz, I think, is distinct enough, and he's not as loud as he is. I don't know. Like I said, he just really goes off the normal 2 Chainz blueprint, and it's kind of confusing to me. But the beats, there's some good ones on here. Don't get me wrong. Let me pull up and look exactly what the Neighborhood beat, which I thought was really good. Watch Out was interesting. Even though I felt it was kind of like an OG Mako, kind of got a hint from that. Big Meech era was by far my favorite beat on the whole thing by TM88. That was good. And there's a couple other good ones here. The Blue Dolphin beat was pretty good, too. But aside from that, they're just, with trap production, I really do believe that less is more, but some of these just had too little. A lot of them had the same kind of snare. A lot of them, at least for the first half, the tempo was very close. It was just within like 8 beats of each other or so, Just not enough variation production-wise, I don't think. Features. In looking at it, it's not oversaturated. You've got Kevin Gates, The Dream, the Wiz Khalifa feature. Now, this surprised me because Wiz is not someone who I have enjoyed for like 4 years, I kind of got on that bandwagon, a little bit when I heard, the Black and Yellow and especially that Cabin Fever mixtape. That was, I think that's still Wiz's best thing in his whole catalog. But, after that, everything was just so same and monotonous, and Wiz just had that same old played out Wiz Khalifa flow for a couple years. But he really did a good job aside from the singing. Don't sing. Aside from the singing on his feature, he went in. He was, quick. He brought some lines, and he just came in and did his thing for, a short verse on that third track. You've got 16 tracks, which seems kind of like a lengthy thing to take on, especially when you're talking about a 2 Chainz project where you kind of know, everything's going to be similar in the same vein. But even then, the songs aren't too long. Some of these are just under the 3-minute mark, so he doesn't beat it to death too much. So it's not that long of a project, but still. So same issues, as I stated before. Kind of taking from other artists, which you can do, but this seems kind of like just blatant, like you don't care that you're sounding like other people on a couple of these tracks with the OG Mako and the Young Thug and the Future kind of stuff. So there's that. There's some bland production, although there are a couple of really good beats on here. Don't get me wrong. He's trying to be too serious. You can't be 2 Chainz and be too serious. Yeah, and just a couple feature issues. But overall, it's not terrible. It's not, by far, it's not the worst thing that I've reviewed this year. So, a creative endeavor is always admirable. But overall, on this thing, I'm feeling just an even D on the letter grade scale, just because I don't think I'm going to revisit it. Anything else you guys want me to review? I'm sorry I haven't been reviewing as much. Just a lot of stuff going on right now, personally. Just really been focusing on myself, in all honesty, and that sounds kind of selfish, but sometimes you need to. So, yeah. Check out other stuff on the channel, and that's it.